What's up, everybody? Noble Comics here with round 7 of the Tournament of Power, where we have Apocalypse the First Mutant versus Shazam, Captain Marvel from DC Comics. And before we get into that, let's look at the results of the last battle, which was Thor versus Martian Manhunter, and a pretty close fight, relatively. Most of them have been pretty one-sided as far as the votes go, but Thor does win, which, if I'm honest, I expected Martian Manhunter to win, because I think in the online versus battle discourse, Martian Manhunter is usually favored. But Thor will be moving on to fight Broly here shortly. But today we have Apocalypse versus Shazam. So let's jump into it. Looking at the two of them, honestly, I'm not going to do the whole power breakdown that I usually do, listing all the feats, because I think that these are two characters that, while not obscure, they have certain eras, right? They had certain times where they were popular, and for the most part, they are background characters for the wide Marvel and DC universe, right? But starting with Apocalypse, that said, starting with Apocalypse. Obviously, most well known as the Age of Apocalypse, going up against the X-Men and the Mutants, which may seem to scale against him, as the X-Men typically aren't the most powerful of superheroes out there, right? That said, he is able to fight off, numerous X-Men at once, taking blows from people like, Colossus or Cyclops, Rogue. We've seen him go toe-to-toe with people like Jean Grey when it comes to psychic powers. He's an extremely powerful telepath. Super strength, super durability, but probably most famously about him is the fact that he can shapeshift, sort of like Martian Manhunter, though it's like his techno-organic body can shapeshift, so he can turn his hand into a laser cannon, turn his feet into rockets and fly around, as well as morph and bend his body, like this one panel where Cyclops is shooting a laser at him, but he morphs his body to create a hole so that the laser just passes straight through without actually hitting him. Stuff like that. He can grow super tall, he can shrink, make himself super dense. Comes in handy. And famously, he does have celestial armor, as in the, super powerful gods of the Marvel Universe, Celestials. So his durability does get a boost because of that. As far as main feats, we've seen some inconsistent feats. One comic, he's seen taking a scream from Black Bolt. In another comic, he's taking, he dies from a whisper. And that's going to kind of be a theme with Apocalypse, is that he's not super consistent. He's used as kind of a punching bag in comics. Like if you want to scale somebody, have them kill Apocalypse. He always loses is the thing. He's just a punching bag. But notably, we do see him restrain a Savage Hulk. We've seen him go toe-to-toe with a young Thor before he has Mjolnir. And he is able to take hits from Jarnbjorn, the magic axe. So his celestial armor takes hits from Thor with this magic axe, which is pretty cool. But he does kind of beat the crap out of the young Thor. And he does, in the Secret Wars comic, when Apocalypse is in there, we see him manhandling some of the Thor core, which I don't know exactly how powerful they are compared to, 616 Thor, but they're at least probably pretty powerful. So, pretty strong, again, able to fight the Savage Hulk and restrain him in that comic, though I don't know if he's consistently shown to be that strong, but shape-shifting, able to turn his body into all different sorts of weapons, extreme psychic abilities, and that celestial armor giving him some huge durability. Now, I'm going to be honest, before we get into Shazam, I really like Apocalypse, okay? I'm a big fan. I think he's so disrespected, and he is so underutilized in the comics. He's kind of like Karnak in the way that, when people want to show how good of a martial artist they are, they'll beat the crap out of Karnak, and so he always loses. But after a while, same thing with Apocalypse, he always loses. So after a while, it's okay, are these other people that powerful, or does Apocalypse just suck? And that's kind of the territory we're in. Because when we look at somebody like Shazam, Captain Marvel for DC, he scales pretty much with Superman, right? I think that's been pretty consistent throughout the comics, is that he is a Superman level character, around the same speed, around the same strength, around the same durability. He does have a different power set in the fact that he has magic and these lightning abilities, so it's not like he has like the super breath and heat vision, all that stuff, but very powerful lightning abilities. And look, even if he's not exactly scaled to Superman, which he might not be, he might be, whatever tier below Superman, he's at least in the same realm. We've seen him, you know, being able to knock Superman back, draw blood from him. We've seen him fight people like Martian Manhunter, who, at the time when they were fighting, Martian Manhunter was at like 50% power. But Shazam's no slouch, right? He's been able to go toe-to-toe with a lot of DC's heavy hitters and do well. Again, extremely fast, strong energy. His only real downside compared to Apocalypse is the fact that he is a kid. So he does have like the wisdom of Solomon or whatever, but his mind, he's still a child, right? He's still childish, and he's not the most experienced, and that can be taken advantage of. If he was like a full-grown adult, he'd probably be more powerful than Superman, or a better superhero than Superman, in my opinion. So you put the two together, and look, I want Apocalypse to win so bad, but I think he's outclassed here pretty much in all categories. Because I think Shazam scales to adult Thor with Mjolnir. And Apocalypse was able to manhandle young Thor before he had Mjolnir, but I don't think he could withstand a full power Thor. I don't think he could. I think his main enemies, the X-Men, are a league below the main heavy hitters. While he was able to have some impressive feats, like tank the scream from Black Bolt, fighting people like the Hulk, I don't think he's consistently that powerful. Now, maybe the mental, psychic stuff could come into play here, and that could turn the tide. But I really don't know. The only thing he has going for him is the shape-shifting, which would be nice and may give him some sort of combat edge, or at least the ability to fight back, and having that celestial armor to give him more durability. But really, I think speed, he's outclassed. Strength, he's outclassed. Energy, maybe he's got him on energy, just be able to like turn any part of his body into a weapon. But for the most part, I think Apocalypse here is pretty doomed. The first mutant, the god of the mutants, I think falls down to the 7 gods of Shazam. Though, let me know what you guys think, and I will see you in the next video. Yeah, be sure to go vote. I know not all of you are voting. Be sure to go vote. Let me know who wins, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.